Welcome to the Dream Big, Ball Hard podcast with your girl Venus Mack Hall and your boy I Am Your Brand Man. Don't forget to subscribe.
What's up, guys? Welcome to the Dream Big, Ball Hard podcast. It's your boy I Am Your Brand Man here with...
It is your girl, Venus Mack Hall. I am a business development coach. I help women dominate entrepreneurship with confidence by structure, strategy, and helping them to monetize in their business. What's going on?
Yes, and my tagline has still not been developed yet. But it's all good. It's all good.
I'm still not on
here.
Google. I had nothing to say after that. I was just quiet. Like, what can I say something?
Yo, it's all good. We are here. And on this episode, we are talking about this topic right here. Do you have a business or do you have a hobby? This is something important to think about. Do you have a business or do you have a hobby? Like, we got to differentiate these two things for some people, because V and I were having a conversation yesterday and we were just talking about certain people and we were just like, yo, we don't think that they ready. They say they ready, but they ain't ready. And I'm like, well, what makes people ready? That's what we here to talk about. But first off and foremost, let's do what we do best. And let's talk about what was our big dream for this week. What was your big dream, V? What was your big dream?
My big dream for this week, man, I just was thinking about it yesterday. Like, yo, you've been planning for 2023 for a long time. Like, I just been real ham on 2023. So my big dream this week was to decide if I was going to sign up for a coaching program. I like to take my coaching at the end of the year, going into the new year. And I signed up for coaching. I'm super excited. I'm about to start a 2-month coaching program, very intense, very crash course of moving me from the level that I was in 2022, going to 2 new levels, getting bigger clients, signing bigger contracts, and attracting those people. So my dream was to decide if I was going to do it, and I did it. So I dreamed it and I crushed it all in a week's time.
Oh, shucks. Okay. My big dream for this week, God just spoke to me and said, Jared, you got to put on another show. You got to put on your plays again. So it's going down next year, next summer. I'm putting on my plays. I want to rent out a theater for about 3 weeks. And I want to run. I wrote how many plays I wrote. So I did A Family Divided. I'm running it down. A Family Divided. Then It Could Be Worse. Then I did Secrets. Then there was what was it? I can't think of it. Black Love.
Okay.
So 4 plays. But I'm gonna put on 3 of them. A Family Divided, like, all the way has to be rewritten. Okay. Like that was my very first play. It wasn't really everybody said they loved it, and actually funny thing is, it was like my highest rated sold out show. Wow. Everybody loved it, but when I go back and look at the script, it was a lot of inconsistencies. So, and I tried to rewrite it and it just didn't work. So I just wrote a whole nother show. So It Could Be Worse, Secrets, and Black Love. Yeah, I think I'm gonna run all 3 of those shows for those 3 weeks in the summertime. And so that's my big dream. So yeah, it hit me. It was like, nope, it's time to get back in the saddle with it. Let's go. So y'all going to be hearing more about that in that process as this podcast goes along. But that's my big dream, yo. And that's where my big dream actually started was, well, actually, it didn't actually start there, but it kind of recreated itself with my plays. And that's where I learned a lot, man. Just trying to sell those tickets, trying to pay for those theaters, trying to pay for the insurance, paying for all of the stuff. Like, that's how I learned a lot of my lessons. And it was just all self-taught. And that's where I learned a lot of my faith too. So, period. So that was my big dream. I'm glad to hear that you're getting your coaching in, that you doing what you got to do to elevate your status. Like you said, bigger clients, crushing it. Bigger bags, crushing it. Like, I'm glad to hear that we still big dreaming, baby.
Big dreaming. I'm just a firm believer in you have to invest and put in what you want to get out. And I want people to sign up for my coaching program. And I want to have a high ticket coaching program. So it's important for me to invest in high ticket coaches because that lets me know that there is somebody out there that will sign up for a high ticket program. I ain't gonna lie, this high ticket program is not even really high, but it's high for me. And it made me nervous. It made me nervous before. It made me nervous after my first payment. And I'm still nervous today. But I know I'm going to learn a lot. And you gotta spend money to make money. You have to spend money.
My question is, what makes you nervous? What makes you nervous about it?
Well, I already told you.
You didn't tell the people. I'm very frugal with my money. Mm-hmm. I spend my money on what I want to spend my money on. Yeah.
And me, I've been an entrepreneur for umpteen years, but coaching is new to me. So I've only been in coaching. This will be my first year. And so with being a hairstylist, I didn't have to pay for advertisement. I didn't have to pay for marketing. I didn't have to pay for, all of those things. People see you, you put a picture up, they see you, it's word of mouth. That's how I got my clients as being a stylist. And I started back before we had Instagram. I was
social media
before Instagram and social media. I literally was putting stuff in the newspaper. When I wanted. So although I did have to market, it wasn't as intense as now. So now I'm paying for Facebook ads and, paying to get out there to be seen. I'm not used to that. So it's change. I don't really like change. But I'm evolving and I'm learning that this is going to be a very important part of my growth. So I'm here for it. To even say I tried it and it didn't work, but I tried it, because last year I didn't try. I did coaching last year, but I only took, I think I did 2 coaching and I did one-on-one coachings and then I did a couple of stuff in between. But this next year I want to be really into coaching, really getting it in.
Okay. So do you think this is something that you would do every single year, doing a coaching course with somebody else and just making sure that you're on the right track? That's dope. That's what's up.
For sure. I want to do it quarterly. So I want to do quarterly some type of way, like a check-in at least.
Yeah.
Or just a check-in some type of way. I have so many people connected to me that I'm checking in all the time with all of my entrepreneurial friends. I'm asking them questions hey, what would you do this? Or, hey, so I'm always getting that check-in. But for sure, I would definitely pay somebody probably 2 to 3 times a year just to have that education.
Yeah, big facts.
Just being around those people, networking, being in those buildings. That's yearly.
Big facts. Yeah, no, I remember after I did my first play, I was watching this YouTube video because I just wanted to get better and I wanted to see where this thing was taking me. And then a lot of people kept saying, "Oh, Jared, you need to take the show on a tour. You need to do this. You need to do that." And I had a mentor who taught us at Creative and Performing Arts High School. He was our teacher. Mm-hmm. And he told me straight up, he was like, "No, you don't want to go on tour. You want to," he said first, he was like, "You want to put your show on in New York." First. And he was like, if it's a hit in New York and the publishers invite all out the publishers, he said, then, you get your play published. He like, you don't even have to take it on tour. People will put it on tour, however. But I was also listening to this YouTube video and they were just like, yo, if you want to get better, go to the people that are doing what you are doing. Right. And you're either going to pay them for their information or you're going to ask them if you can help them. And that's how you get in where you fit in. And you're going to learn so much by being up underneath them. And that's exactly what I did. I went to a local playwright and I was just I went to 2 of them. Actually 3. I DM'd 3 and only 1 got back to me and we've been best friends ever since. And he reached out to me and he was like, yeah, I'll, come help, come vend at this, at my next play. And I did. I was outside selling his T-shirts at his show. And the rest is kind of history. I was in a couple of his shows, but learning from him and being around his organization, that's where I learned how to use Google Docs and all of this other stuff. It taught me so much about how just to be organized on the back end of just business in general, because it wasn't just the play that I learned. So yeah, y'all just got some stuff right there. But let's jump into this topic that we talking about. Like, do you have a business or do you have a hobby? And my number one thing is, this is how you know it's a hobby if you ain't making no money. That's the number one thing. Like, if you ain't making no money, it's a hobby. Period. You have all the LLC status you want.
Yeah, anybody can get an LLC. Like, anybody can get an LLC. That's definitely the first way to know if you have a business or hobby, if you're not making any money. I think a second way to know is what are you putting into it?
Yeah.
Like if you have a business, like, I mean, I don't know how many hours I put into my business on a weekly basis. Like if you're not working in your business every single day when you don't want to, like you might have a hobby as well. If you're just picking it up because it's something cool to do, it's fun to say like, oh yeah, I own a business. I'm all about full-time entrepreneurship. Yeah. I'm all about full-time people who don't have a job. You're an entrepreneur. I mean, I'm going into 2023. I said I was going to stop being so hard on people who have jobs. I'm stopping. I'm going to stop. Because I've been dogging them out all 2022. So I'm done. But you really don't have time to have a job if you're an entrepreneur.
Listen, it will drive you crazy. I'll never forget when I was doing my plays, I was a site director at a summer camp. Shout out J-Rock Summer Camp. Yeah.
You know J-Rock?
Yeah, right?
We need a sponsorship.
Yes, right? We do, baby. We need a sponsorship, J-Rock. I'm going to holler at Miss Rhonda for that. But, yeah, no, I was working as a site director and I was putting on a show and she pulled me to the side. She was like, do you think you can do all of this? I said, yeah, sure. I can do this. Man, I mean, I did it. But in the middle of me being on trips with kids and mind you, I wasn't just no regular counselor. I was the site director. So I was pretty much like the business manager of the camp. And I'm, trying to sell tickets on the phone with insurance companies, on the phone with actors and on the phone with all these other people in the middle of trying to do that, trying to get printing and all this other stuff, yo. And it was just the biggest heart. And it was one of the things where I looked at, I said, yeah, I should have took your advice. I shouldn't have did both. I was being too greedy. Well, not even being greedy. I had to pay bills. That's why I had it, because that play wasn't paying nothing. So at the time, it was really like just a hardcore hobby. It really wasn't paying much. Now, money was coming in, but money was going right back out. So as soon as people sold tickets, because I didn't have any upfront capital, I was just going off the dream. Like I had no upfront capital, which is one of the biggest mistakes you'll ever have in business. If you don't have any upfront capital, like we'll get into that conversation. But every time that tickets were sold, they were that capital was used, like period. And so, it was just one of those things. It was very, very difficult to maintain. And I'm thinking about even last year when I was partners in another company and I was still working and I had two other jobs too at the same time. Man, that was just difficult. There's been multiple times I put on a play one time. I was working 3 jobs. So wow. Yeah. Like, and then you got
that one time
3 jobs at once, yo. I was a drama teacher. I was an admissions director. And what else did I do? I worked at a restaurant. I was a server at a restaurant on the weekends. And
I'm very biased, guys. Like I have never had a real job. Like, so.
That's why you be coming down on us so hard.
That's why. It's extremely, that's why. I literally, okay, so my first job was like McDonald's. That doesn't count. I had like a summer camp job. That doesn't count.
Well, how long did you work at McDonald's for?
No, I was 16. Don't get me the lying. I was
15. I worked at McDonald's when I was 15. I worked there for 2 years.
I don't know. There was no longevity. Okay, so I just had a job. A couple of years ago, I worked at United Airlines and I got this job because I was flying one day and a girl was like, you always flying, we hiring, you need to work here because you can get discounts. And I was like, you gonna give me a job? And she was like, yeah. And that's how I got that job. And I was there for 3 years. That was my longest job I've ever had in my life.
Wow.
I was so proud of myself for working for 3 years because I have not been committed to anything outside of my own business for 3 consistent years and being a mom, of course. But so that, and then I had another job before I used to work and I had good jobs. Like working at United Airlines is kind of considered a good job. I worked at Keystone Mercy, which is an insurance company. But I only got that job because I was trying to buy a house, and my realtor was like, girl, you're going to have to go get a job for 6 months. And I literally went and worked there for 6 months just to buy my house.
Wow.
But I've always been an entrepreneur. Like I knew that I wanted to do hair. I was a shampoo girl at like 17, straight from shampoo girl to renting my own chair to being an entrepreneur. Now going on 19 years. That's all I've ever done. And I know how hard it is to work in your business. Like you don't have time for nothing else. Sometimes your family get neglected, your kids get neglected. You get neglected. Like you don't have time to work on nobody else's clock. Like what?
And so, like, when we talking to people out here, like people that have their business, right? And like they look at us and we say, well, because a lot of people will talk that say, use your 9 to 5. I hear this a lot. Use your 9 to 5 to leverage your LLC or to, X, Y, and Z. And for me, that's hard to do. Now, other people can do it. Now, I have done it. I have worked and had my own business. I have done all of that. However, now where I'm a full-time entrepreneur, I see why my efforts before weren't as successful. I see why, because I was just way too divided. And I never had, now when I was doing when I was doing my plays, I would consider that a business, but it was definitely more like a hobby because once again, I wasn't getting paid, but it wasn't bringing in the money. So at that, I can't even consider that a business, but I learned a lot about business doing that. I'm trying to think of the other business ventures that I've had while I was working, which was the shirt company that I was in partnership with. And that maintained, however, a lot lacked because I wasn't working no rinky dink job where I could just sit up and do whatever. I was in a whole director of admissions. So that was, like running a business in itself. I had a whole team and a staff that, looked to me for direction. And so I had to lead them. And so that automatically took a lot of my energy personally. So then when I was done with that job at 5 o'clock, I would walk down the street to the shop at 6 and be there from 6 to 9. But how much work can I really get done from 6 to 9?
When you are tired.
When I'm already tired and I still got my kids to feed and all this other stuff. Like, it wasn't nothing. I want to say lucrative, but not lucrative. That's the word that comes to my mind, but conducive. I don't know. It was just nothing good about the situation. As far as what I know, if I wasn't working, I would have been killing it. We would have had mad clients coming in and X, Y, and Z. I would have been able to market and sell my behind off because I would have just had the time to really think about that. But by the time I'm at the end of the day, I'm drained and I'm going to put this time in. It didn't work for me. And so, guys, I don't know what this means for you, right? But if you have a business, I just say this. If your business is making good money, if you're making close to what you're at least making at your job, you might want to consider taking it full time. You might want to consider it.
So I got a couple of things to say. So I want to touch on what you said about the leverage, using your business to leverage your business, using your job to leverage your business. Mm-hmm. So the downfall of me not having a real job, it shows in my business sometimes. Mm-hmm. Now, the jobs that I did have, they were customer service jobs. So my customer service is A1. Like I will fake it till I make it. But I'm not good with sending emails, like email marketing or analytics or sales, those certain things that if I did have a job, like let's say if you worked at a real estate agency or at a you were a property manager or you worked in corporate America, you had to send emails all day. You had to put packages together and presentations and Excel sheets. And, those are things that you can take into your business to make your business be like A1. We probably wouldn't need nobody to make our content.
No, that's biggest fact.
Our own content. But because I lacked that, because I never had a job, it didn't work. So I'm not saying you can't have a job. I'm not saying not feed your family. But if you have a business, you really have to jump out the jet and just risk it all. And when I think about that statement, it kind of makes me come back and think to myself, because I have the salon, right? And so the salon is not so much of what I really want to do. I really want to be in a coaching space, but the salon is what pays my bills. So almost the salon is like my job.
Your job, yeah.
almost. It's my business, but it's still, I could compare it to a job. And if I really let the salon go and focused on coaching, my coaching business probably would thrive so much better because I literally would have all of my time to invest into my coaching business. But that scares me because the salon is what pays my bills. The salon has literally been paying my bills for 21 years, like since I had my son, like I've been doing the hair and, that's how I've been making my money. So that scares me. Now, granted, when I did start my coaching business, I used to work at the salon 6 days a week. I immediately cut my time in half. So now I'm only at the salon 3 days a week and I'm working in my coaching business. The 4 days I'm working in my coaching business. So I did immediately, I guess, go part-time in my business, but it's still, I guess I kind of compared that.
No, you know what? You just kind of hit it to the same thing. So like how you mentioned with your hair salon, how that's kind of like the bills, it pays the bills. And then you got, your big dream. You want to be this coach. You're going to be this coach. Not want to be, you are this coach.
I am.
You are this coach, right? And so it's the same thing for me. And so where I realized with these t-shirts, out of all the things I've ever done now, I've done the music business. We made money. I've done sold over 10,000 copies of my CDs hand to hand. I've done the plays. We done sold out the shows. So I done made money in these venues. However, there was nothing that was consistent that had good profit margins except for when I was doing this t-shirt company. And so I was like, you know what? After I left that part, I was like, I'm going to still do these t-shirts because one, people are still hitting me up for it. So clearly it's something people know I can do. So I'm going to still do it. And I'm going to make money off of it. And so right now I got the t-shirt company thing running from on my end and I'm making the money. But that's like you said, it's a job. Like it really is a job and it's a business because it makes money. It's not a hobby, but it's a job for me because I never woke up one day and said, yeah, I'm going to be this great t-shirt company owner. Like I never woke up one day and say that. I still don't wake up and say that. Like it is still my goal to scale up out of this company and pass it down to a family member or something. You know what I mean? And so my goal, my dream is always to come back with my art. Like I love my art. So my shows, that's why I said my big dream earlier is to get back into doing my shows. And I think what took it out of me for my shows, what took the steam out of me was the lack of funds, was the lack of capital, was the need to have to work at the same time. I remember when I did my show Secrets, I was about to get fired. I remember my boss came to me and sat down and was like, yo, because I was actually doing my rehearsals were in the same place that I worked, in the same building that I worked. And so I would keep all of the set and the props all in my office. And I remember my boss came, he was like, Jared, I mean, what is going on here? He's like, I'm sitting in the middle of your play set. And I was like, yeah, you are. And I'm like, but I don't know what to tell you. Y'all ain't paying me enough to not be. I told him, I was like, y'all don't pay me enough not to dream. That's exactly what my words were. And so, with that even being said, sometimes, guys, your business will become your job. If you know how to, and I love how you put that too, like working a job, because I did get a lot of skills from working. Like you said, customer service. I worked at, let me run down the list of all my jobs I've had. I worked at McDonald's. I was a child actor, so that was my very first job, being a child actor. But McDonald's was my first job, like as a teenager. I was 15. And then after that, I worked at Wawa, and then I was a character. I used to be like SpongeBob and Elmo and play at kiddie shows. What'd you say?
Okay.
Yeah. I did that. Then I worked at the airport. I drove electric carts at the airport. I worked at J-Rock as a drama instructor and then as a site director. And then I worked at a private school as a kindergarten assistant. That's where we first met. And then I moved up there to be a marketing and communications person. And then I moved up from there to be the admissions director. And through all of those channels, I forgot, I worked at Commerce Bank before it was TD. I worked at Starbucks.
I worked at Commerce too.
You worked at Commerce? Oh, shucks.
I worked at Commerce Bank and PNC Bank. So I had a little bank there, right?
Yeah, and that's, I mean, well, it was Commerce Bank, but they were big on customer service, very big on customer service. So was Starbucks, and that's where I really learned the true value of customer service. I learned a lot about team management from being a site director. I learned how to really manage a team and really get that popping from being a site director at the summer camp. A lot of the kind of back end email stuff that I learned in email marketing came from being a marketing and communications person. So there is some great things, guys, that do come out of jobs, but you got to take those things and bring it. Like, if you're a dreamer, don't get soaked in, just do it as training grounds. Like, I'm talking to my wife now, she has a big dream and she's working a job, and like, we talk like, no, these are training grounds. Like, just understand this is training ground, and there is something out there for you. You just got to understand these are training grounds. So once you do that, you kind of have your time limit on it, but you might start a business that might just become your job, because that is the truth. Like, we live in the real world. Like, we can't be foolish. Like, you got to make money. You got to make money. You got to pay your bills.
So if you have a job, your job needs to be something that's aligned with your job. I mean, with your business. It has to be. Like, if you want to open your own coffee house, then you need to be working at Starbucks. Like, in the best of the best. Like, if you want to have an Airbnb, or you want to be a real estate agent, like, you need to be working at the top hotels, or like something about your job. I'm having a bad day with my dyslexia. Something about your job has to be helping you with your business.
Facts.
Like, I want to
working at Dunkin' Donuts, you know what I mean? Being a cashier at Dunkin' Donuts, you know, like,
and I want to be a makeup artist. It's like,
yeah. It's not one and the same. Like, no,
be a makeup
not at all.
You need to be working at Mac or Sephora. You need to be knowing about all of the skincare. Like, take it to the next notch. So yeah, people need to know that. But we came up with this topic because we were talking about how people want to be entrepreneurs so bad. Like, it's just the thing to do. Everybody wants to be an entrepreneur. And I don't know if the pandemic did that to people.
I don't know. I think everybody's just seeing the glow up and the blow up of all these entrepreneurs out of nowhere.
Right, from the pandemic, though, right? Like, let's think back before the pandemic. Like, we had entrepreneurs out there, bro. Like, were we really like...
And people saw that PPA money, or what was that PPP money that people were getting?
What did you call it?
Yeah, PPA. That's parking in authority.
Like, I literally was talking to somebody today, and she was telling me about her friend wants to get into the trucking industry, and she's invested all of this money into all of these trucking courses, but still hasn't gotten her CDL. I'm like,
and the hold up is what?
Like, right. People want to be a boss. And it's easy to be a boss. It's so easy, but you have to go into something that you know how to do, for one, and that you're passionate about.
Yeah.
Because if there's something that you're not passionate about, you're not going to be in it. I work with so many clients who are not in it. They have businesses, great businesses, but poor work ethics.
Yep. I like how you say that. My bad. Keep going.
No, I'm sorry. That's it. Like, that your work ethic is poor.
Yeah.
And if you have a poor work ethic, it's going to transfer into your business. If you go to your job every day talking about how much you hate this job, your business, you're going to start hating your business.
Exactly. No, I like how you say that, because I think of it as far as t-shirts. Like, no, t-shirts is not my passion, but business is my passion. Like, I love business. I love customer service. I love being able to deliver something with consistency to people. I love when I change somebody's day. You know what I mean? Those are the joys and the things that I get out of the business of doing t-shirts and making t-shirts. So it's not about t-shirts being my passion, but I find things that are involved and enthralled in that. And like, my work ethic, I'm a beast when it comes to work ethic. Like, I'm the first one up, the last one to go to sleep kind of deal always. And so I don't know what that does. I don't know what that says about whatever, but right. But, you know, like, I find those things in this business that I am passionate about, which increases my passion. So for people that, start a business that they're not necessarily passionate about, but they just stumble upon it. And like I did with the shirts, they stumbled upon it and they find that it makes money. You got to find those things in that business that create your passion. Like, I am passionate about running a team. That's why I hire folks and I enjoy my team meetings once a week. You know what I mean? I'm passionate about inspiring people. So I find those things within that business that take it from being a hobby all the way to the next level of being an actual business. And yeah, big time, y'all. So you got to understand that.
That's funny that you said you enjoy your team meetings, and that's probably because you was that site director.
Exactly.
I cannot hold a team meeting to save my life. I don't want to be the manager of anybody. Like, I know what needs to be done and I know how to do it. But for me to transfer it to somebody else, that's not where I'm good at. Like, maybe I should get you to start hosting my team meetings.
Yo, let me. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love solving problems. Like, that's one of my biggest joys. Like, I love being a problem solver. And when I figured out that the world needs problem solvers, that the world pays problem solvers, that the world really values problem solvers, I kind of dove all the way into being a problem solver. And, you know, I love governing teams because there has not been a team that I have not directed or got like to the finish line. Like, I get everybody to the finish line. Like, everybody crosses the finish line when you work.
It is solidified. And I want Monday. My team meeting on Monday to give direction. I'll kind of tell you what I want, and then you make it professional. And
listen, I do it. Like, I'll never forget one time at the summer camp, they had another site director, and I was working full time as the admissions director, so I couldn't even be the site director anymore. And the summer camp was at the same school I worked at, and their site director like fell off the face of the planet. Like, he just like no call, no show like the last week. And they have a finale show at the end of the year. And so it was one of those things where I had to go to my CEO. I'm like, listen, they need a lot of help. Can I step in and be the site director for like the last 2 days? And, you know, he gave me his blessing and everything like that. And so I did. I got the troops together. Like, I rallied everybody up. I rallied the entire camp, all the kids. Like, yeah, I'm like, let's get it together, yo. I know y'all used to this chaos, but we're going to bring it in because we got a show to do. And like, man, when I say that day was phenomenal, but like the way I just started it off, like a big, I don't know, I can't remember the speech I gave, but it was just straight from the heart. Like, I had to lead with a big old speech about how we was going to do this together. But the moment we led with that, like, everybody was working together. Like, and it was to the point where I wasn't overwhelmed at all because everybody played their part. It's just about reminding people of the part that they have to play in the bigger picture. And they just have to be able to see the vision. When people do not see the vision, it automatically perishes, you know. Person without a vision, you know what I mean? Or what's the scripture? Like, without vision,
make it plain. And
yeah. People without vision will perish. Without vision, yeah, something like that, right? But people have to be able to see the vision, just like you have to be able to see the vision. So the difference between your business and your hobby is truly that vision as well. It's that vision. Like, where do you see it going at the end of the day? Like, even if it is that mansion on the hill, you know, what business is your business going to take you there? Can your business scale you there? Because most entrepreneurs are serial entrepreneurs, because we all know you cannot do it off of one stream of income. You need at least 7. So that's the golden number, the golden rule, 7 streams of income. So you have to accrue 7 streams, period. And that's 7 different businesses, but you know, it's hard to work 7 different businesses. So that means you have to trust the team. You have to scale up out and have a team running this business so you can move to the next one accordingly. But if you're treating your business like a hobby, you will never scale. You will never go to the next level. You will never get that team in there. As a matter of fact, if it's a hobby, you'll never get a team in there. You're gonna hold this hobby too dear. It's gonna be too much like a baby to you. Like, it's gonna be, it's not gonna be what you need it to be, y'all. So all y'all people out there, we running up on our time, but everybody out there that is running down on a business like a hobby, stop it. Stop it. Like, one, if it's not making money, it's a hobby. So keep on bird watching. Keep on bird watching.
Don't have an LLC. Go apply for your LLC right now. If you have a business and you don't have a LLC, or you're not a corporation, or you're not nonprofit, you don't
have a business. That's another thing. Yeah, that's big old hobby right there. Big old hobby. If you don't have the appropriate paperwork, if you don't have a business account, it's a hobby. You know, if you're not waking up and thinking about this, if you're not going to sleep and thinking about this, if you're not putting in more than 12 hours a day, it's a hobby.
Dang.
I say 12. I say 12. I say 12. Because you got to, yo. I wake up and I start. Like, I wake up and I start. I wake up and I start all the way until I think about maybe like 7, 8 o'clock, I start to take it down. And, you know, that's with my wife pulling me, you know, like, come eat dinner with your family. You know what I mean? Like
12 hours is a lot. Don't kill them like that. When they probably been putting 12 hours a month into their business, you won't give them 12 hours a day.
If they ain't putting 12 hours a month into their business, I don't know. You're listening to the wrong podcast. For
Give
real.
them 8 hours a day. 8
At
hours
least
a day.
8 hours a day. You gotta,
and if you're doing 8, then go to 12.
Yeah, because listen, if you're giving somebody else 8 hours of your day, you need to be doing that for your business.
You know, those people that go working 9 to 5 not giving their business 12 hours a day.
They can't.
If I had a job, I would print out all my content, like my business cards. I'll be printing all that stuff out at work.
That's what I did. That's exactly what I did. I used that printer up. You listen.
Everybody I talk to would know about my business. Like I would be.
Oh yeah, I sold out. I sold all my tickets at my school I worked at. Like I was not playing no games. Like not playing any games. And like I said, like I felt like my plays were a hobby, but it was truly a business. It taught me everything I needed to know about business acumen. And as a matter of fact, from the things I learned from putting on my shows, that's what got me promoted at my job, actually, because I was taking that entrepreneurial leap and I learned things. I learned about social media marketing. I learned about sales and all of that. And so when I'm at, I'll never forget, I was at a Christmas dinner and all the bosses were around there and they were talking about Facebook, because this when Facebook was really becoming a thing for businesses to get into. Like at first it was a thing for personal people, but businesses started getting into it and they just didn't know how to run a business page. They were like, yeah, so we got this Facebook page. And I'm asking, I'm like, well, did you know, how many likes and how many this? And, you know, did you do any ads? Did you do this yet? And, you know, you can also, you know, you can do this, you can do that. All of the things I was spurting out, they were just looking at me like, well, how do you know this? I was like, I had to do it for my show. Right. I had to do it for my show. And this actually is what got me hired as marketing and communications at my job, simply because I knew that from taking that leap of faith. So y'all, take this leap. If it's making money, it's, you know, if it's making money, it's making good. Like, let's say, what should the profit margins be? Like 60, 70% at least, like more than 50. I would say at least more than 50%. Like if you're making more than 50% of your money back, you got a good situation going.
Yeah, sometimes you just got to go all out though, even if you're not, because you might not be making it because you're not putting that time in.
That's the biggest fact.
Time into your business. Like, listen, let me give y'all a play real quick.
Give them a play.
If you work in a job and you're really tired of your job and you really are nervous to risk it all and to go into entrepreneurship, if you have FMLA at your job, use the FMLA at your job. I hope. Well, we can't get in trouble for this. Who gonna get me in trouble?
Right? Who gonna fire me?
Use the FMLA at your job. FMLA will give you 90 days off from work where they can't pay you. So you won't have to work. You have to go see your doctor, tell your doctor why you need. FMLA stands for Family Medical Leave of Absence. Mm-hmm. Go to your doctor. If you don't have a reason, it could be you have high blood pressure and it's messing with you, you're affecting you at your job. It could be a mental reason why you need to take FMLA. It could be a family issue why you need to take FMLA. If you need a reason and the doctor's note, DM me and we'll work. It's like, no. No, use the FMLA at your job. FMLA will give you 30 days to not go to work and not get fired. Take those 90 days and invest it into your business and see how much money you make in your business. If you make more money in your business than you make on your job, when FMLA is up, it's time to leave. If you still want to get paid from FMLA, you do your FMLA and your short-term disability at the same time. You apply for short-term disability. You won't get the full amount of your paycheck, but I think it's like 70% depending on your job. But that's a play. If you're really serious about your job, do that.
And if you're too nervous about doing the FMLA play, just, you know, use your vacation time. Yeah, I was going to say use your vacation time.
And with FMLA, the cool thing about FMLA, every time I had a job, I've used FMLA every once a year, because you get it once a year. And baby, get your job, I'm using that FMLA once a year, period. The cool thing about FMLA is that it's not from your job. So if you work at United, let's just say United Airlines does not handle the FMLA. It's an outside company that handles it. Your direct boss does not know anything but you're on FMLA. They can't ask you no questions. They can't. It's none of their business. It's none of their business. So do it. do it. Use that FMLA. I gave that play to my first VA. Remember her? I don't want to say it. I gave that play to her and she did not go back to her job.
Wow. See, y'all got it. Y'all got it right there. No, I like that because it's true. If you made more money doing that, no, that's biggest fact. And I realized that too. Like, it's funny because when I left my job, when God told me to, you know, give it all back and I left everything and I started just doing the shirts and stuff for myself, people were like, well, how are you keeping up? How are you doing this? I was like, yo, I made $1,500 last week. Like that was 2 weeks on my job. Like, and that's not even a big bag for everybody. I understand, but I was like,
right. But if you could be comfortable with making $1,500 every 2 weeks, imagine making $1,500 in one day. With your business, like with your business, you won't be making a bag. You can make a bag every single day. It could be payday
every single day
at your business. That's why I can't never have a job. Like, because I've been a hairstylist for so long, I make money every time I go to work. So as fast as I make the money, the fastest it goes out. When I used to get paid, my paycheck would be gone in a day or two.
My paycheck was gone before I even got paid.
Right.
Like, everything was accounted for.
More days to get the paycheck. Like that's weird. No, like, so I'm telling you, bet on your own business. If you have a business and you need some strategy, listen, I am the strategy queen. Talk to me about how I can help you make some fast cash the legal way. Okay. Listen, if you're a mom, if you're a single dad and you do that FMLA, immediately go apply for food stamps.
Yep.
Go apply for cash. Like, keep the system up. Get on LIHEAP. Get on everything.
Get all the assistance that you can for help. No, I'm all the way. And listen, and people might look at us, but listen, we are not the only culture that, like, first off, we're the minorities in that system. We're not the majorities in that system. Like, if you look at the stats, we are the minorities in that system. And so other cultures are using it for their benefit. So we need to learn how to use that for our benefit. And at the end of the day, the tax codes and everything leans more towards people with businesses. It's not made for people that work. People that work actually pay way more in taxes than people in businesses. Like, you wonder how half these people don't get or don't have to pay as much in taxes or don't have to show their tax returns or however like that, is because they have learned these tax codes. They learned how to LLC their names. They've learned how to LLC everything. They've learned this stuff, and everything is a write-off. Almost everything.
Everything. Imagine going on vacation.
Yes.
And not having to ask your boss for PTO. Facts. Imagine not having to get approved for PTO. That was the thing I hated about my job. Having to put that thing in, and my boss, she would sit at her computer and say, I don't know, because somebody else put their PTO at that time of the day. And do you even have the PTO? I don't want to get paid. I want the day off.
Yep.
Imagine going on vacation and being able to write it off as a business expense on your taxes.
Yep.
Come on.
Come on now. Get with it. And I was the same way. That's where I was almost about to lose my job with the play, because I had put in my time and then they like denied it at the last minute. It was like, no, we need you here. They used to do that to me all the time, and I used to call out. Oh yeah, I just straight called out. I straight an email like, yo, this is the day of my show. I know I told you I'll be in, but I ain't coming in.
They used to do that to me. That was
I got plywood over my neck and I'm building stages and sets and stuff like that. Y'all want me to come in and no. So listen, y'all. Listen, we're going to wrap this up right here. Let's take some key takeaways. The difference between a business and a hobby. One, the hobby needs, if it's not making money, it's a hobby. If you're not putting the appropriate time, 8 hours. The appropriate time. If you're not putting the appropriate time, it's a hobby.
You're not working in it every day. It's almost a hobby.
You're not working in it every day. It's definitely a hobby. If you just don't take this thing serious, like, you can't say I have a business or I want a business and like, you're not going in like, you can't, like, no, like, if you're not educating yourself on this thing, if you're not in your job to educate yourself on this, to set up the appropriate training grounds, it's a hobby. And like, that's cool. That's cool, but don't call it no business, and don't call yourself no entrepreneur either, because it's a slap in the face.
To the real people who out here grinding.
They're out here grinding, this entrepreneur game ain't no easy game. It's a struggle. The first couple of years is not easy peasy. Even when you are winning, Like I've seen people that have had good businesses winning. And it's just like, no, that stuff is still a struggle because you still got supply, demand, you got merchant, you got so many things. You got the numbers, you got the taxes, you got all of the, then you still got your life and your family, yo. So understand it is a grind, but it's a grind that you just learn to love because, yo, the water cooler conversations are so much better on this side. Period. So much better. Period, yo. So with that being said, I am your brand man. You can find me everywhere at I am your brand man. And check them out, V. Check out V.
Follow me, Venus Mack Hall. That's follow me all platforms, venusmackhall.com, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Venus Mack.
Biggest facts, y'all. Until next time, guys, we are out. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to subscribe, share, like, tell a friend, and do it to the end. Just had to make that rhyme. Dream big, ball hard, y'all. And we are out. Peace.
Peace. I forgot the peace.
Peace.